Okay, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So I'm on a search to try and replace my driver in the bag. I've currently got, many of you will know, G400 from Ping LST 8.5 degree, and I've really do enjoy it. And it's been tough to find something to outperform that and move it out of my bag. But I've sort of got that inkling here. I just want something a little bit more new, something shiny in the bag, you know, that's something inside me there just feels like I want the latest product in there. Many of you might relate to this. So I've been really enjoying hitting recently on a few videos the Titleist TSi3. So I'm going to put these head to head. I'm going to hit quite a few shots here, do a real good test between these two clubs and maybe see if the TSi3 could just edge out my G400. Right, okay, so Ping G400, as I say, it's been in my bag for quite a while, and that's quite rare for me with a driver. I tend to swap quite frequently, but I have really got on well with this. I still enjoy using this, even though, you know, I do like the look of it. It's a different look, and I appreciate not everybody likes the turbulators on Pings. I've sort of grown to like that as I've played with the driver. So as I say, it's an LST, it's the low spin version. It's an 8.5 degree set at 8.5, sits very nice and square for me. Got it set, shaft wise, I've got Fujikura Speeder 757 Evolution 5 in an X, and it's playing at a plane length of 45 inches, so maybe just a little bit shorter than sort of standard length. So process of this video, I'm going to hit 5 shots with mine, jump into Titleist 5 shots, back into mine with 5, and then back in for the final 5 with the Titleist, and then we'll go and look at a few numbers, and I'll give you obviously a little bit of feedback through the shots as well as we're going along. Okay, and I think the things I've really enjoyed with the Ping, number of things, is it sits beautifully square down by the golf ball, which I really do like, and you know, I think that for me is got to be a ticking of a box for me. It's got to sit really square. The shape of the head I like. Obviously, it is a little bit busy on the head with the turbulator. As I mentioned before, I don't mind that, but I do prefer a little bit more of a classic look. But I have grown to like the turbulators. That was a nice strike. And the sound with the Ping driver, many of us, you'll sort of know the sound tends to be a little bit on that higher side. The new one, the G425, again, I think is quite a loud sounding a sort of acoustic to it. Again, it's not where I would typically sort of choose, but again, I've grown to like it because the results I get with the driver you know, have been very good. I've had a lot of success with this particular driver. So the things of maybe the look and the sound, which isn't where I probably would prefer to have it in an ideal world, I have grown to like. And the flight, I mean, that was a little bit off the bottom there, yeah, just slightly low heel. I could just feel that. The flight I tend to sort of get on it is really nice sort of trajectory. It comes out a really good sort of window. So the spins just climbed a bit there through that little bit low heel strike, just lost a bit of ball speed. And I'd probably say with the G400, it's probably not the longest driver out there, to be honest. But again, I mean, the big thing for me is accuracy off the tee. That was a better strike. Just moving these a little bit up that right hand side. Yeah, see that slightly better strike there. Bit higher on that launch there, but good spin at that 2.4. That's the sort of area I'd like to maybe see me sort of spin number around that sort of 2.5 area for me. That's a really good bullet shot there. That could be quite long, that one. That felt quite low spin, slightly high on the face. Could see through the flight, yeah, 1900, but with a decent launch there of 12.7. Okay, so there's first 5 hit with a Ping. Let's move into that TSi3. Okay, so TSi3, as I mentioned, I've really enjoyed hitting probably the whole TSi range, to be honest, but the 3 more so, really because of the shape of the head, that little bit more compact head, beautiful sort of shaping, a bit more that pear shape as we sort of call it. Again, the big things I'm looking for me personally, is it sits nice and square, which it does. And the shape of the head is really nice, which it is. And obviously a little bit quieter now in terms of the crown of the head as you're looking down. Obviously just that small TSI logo as alignment aid, and that is it on the club head. You know, there's no carbon in there, there's no sort of bumps and bells and whistles in a way. It's just black gloss, and it's just very classic, and it just brings back a lot of, you know, sort of memories for me growing up as a kid. I always had classic looking drivers in a way. This first one underway. So this is a 9 degree head, set at 9 degree. That's a great opening shot, the TSi3. Very nice straight golf shot. Fraction low in the face, but quite a good ball speed. 163.6, that slightly low strike, and spin didn't climb a massive amount from that strike either. And that's probably one of the things I found, and many of you will probably see my miss on the drive is slightly low in the club face. And what I have found with TSi is it's quite controlled with the spin in that low strike, but the ball speed seems to be still fairly quick off that low part of the club, which suits me because, as I mentioned, my strike tends to be a little bit low if I do miss it. You know, that trajectory that ball came out, 11.5, that slightly low strike was really good as well. So, as I say, 9-degree headset, 9-degree. I've got the Hazardous Smoke RDX in a 6.5, so in X-Flex, again, 45-inch plane length. So it's the same length as my Ping. I do like that, just that little bit shorter in that length. Just feels like I've got a little bit more control. Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I just love the sound of it. The sound is just absolutely where I would want to have a sound of a drive. It's just that thud, it's that solid connection, not too loud. I'm not saying the Ping is way too loud. This is just more of that solid. It's just more solid behind that golf ball. You know, it's just more of that solid sound, solid connection. So it's ticking that box. It looks good. It sits great. Sounds good. And again, there's that bottomy one. And again, that ball speed, 164, just short of. Obviously, it's come out low because of the low strike, 2-4 spin. That's a good, bad one for me. It's one of them that'll be scuttled up that left edge of the fairway. No, I've not middled it. No, I've not flushed it. I know it won't be my longest, but it's not far away, is it? Yeah, again, just feel like I've got a really good control over that golf ball with that. Yeah, so slightly high face, slightly low spin, but the launch is there at 13. Flight's great to watch down that range. Yeah, love that. Really enjoying hitting that. Just love the sound. 165.5, good strike, decent launch, great spin, great carry. Take that every day of the week. Right, okay, so just before we jump back into the Ping, just have a quick look at the dispersions on those first five shots with each of those clubs, and straight away there's a big difference already in those first 5 batches. Mine just tend to lose a little bit of that right-hand side, which is sometimes a little bit of a miss, to be fair, with my G400. Tight, it's really tight and a little bit longer. Okay, so back into my Ping G400, another 5 shots. Last couple there were really solid, got into that mid 163, 164 ball speed, good spin, decent carry. And that's what I'm sort of saying, this is one of the reasons why the G400 stayed in my bag so long. I do get some good numbers with it. So back into the final 5 shots with the TSi3. And that's the final one with the TSi3. Really sort of got some confidence with that. I just felt like I really had a good control of that golf ball. Clubhead speed sneaks, ball speed's great. 293 on that last carry. But let's go look at some numbers a little bit deeper on those 10 shots hit with each of those 2 drivers. Okay, so obviously let's have a little look at the dispersion rings. Really, really important for me, and it is for any golfer out there really. It's great to hit the ball a little bit further, isn't it? But at the end of the day, we've got to keep that ball and that short stuff, because that's ultimately what is going to lower our scores. So if we look at the rings there, you see the white with the Ping, obviously just losing a few more to the right. Obviously got some really good strikes in there, and that probably is a little bit of my miss, to be honest, with the Ping driver. And I've always never minded that shape, because going back probably 12 months or so, I always had that real big left miss in my game. So it's always quite refreshing to have that little bit of that right miss for me. It was always a little bit of a safer miss. But obviously you can see there with TSi3, I just had a lot more confidence as not any of those drop-offs like maybe these 3 we're seeing there with the Ping. And there weren't horrendous strikes with the Ping with these, to be honest. You know, if we just have a little look at the strikes there, so this is the heat patch, all 10 of those shots hit there, and this is my G400. So pretty decent strike pattern, like I say, just getting a couple in that slight low heel section, possibly, which probably would help to maybe get that little bit, that left to right shape and that sort of slight miss up that right hand side. But then moving to the TSi3, and I say this is the same shaft length, pretty much the same weight of shaft. You can see dispersion ring, not dispersion ring, strike pattern there, much tighter. Obviously still got a couple that tend to miss low in the face. That always tends to be my miss, as I've always mentioned, but a little bit tighter on that strike pattern. And then we'll have a little look at the bird's eye view, side on view of the ball flights. Again, this is with the Ping. You can see, you know, so just got a couple moving off up that right, pretty decent sort of window there. Moving then into the TSi3 in the yellow, a little bit tight on that dispersion, obviously more so as a dispersion ring as what we've just seen, but also through that window the ball came out of. And then when we look at the all important sort of numbers, so G400, you see 112.6, 113.6, so on average there, 1 mile an hour quicker with TSi3. As I said, shaft weight very similar, the length of club exactly the same. I just felt like I had that confidence there with the TSi, just with the looks and the sound. I think that can play an influence into how you react to a golf club and how you feel confident. I think if that was the other way around, I put something down, I didn't like the look of it, it sat in a funny position, maybe the sound was very, very wacky, you know, you wouldn't probably have as much confidence, would you? Maybe start to change the swing to adapt to a certain look behind the golf ball potentially. So obviously just allowing me to sort of gain a little bit of speed there, which is great. And obviously that can turn then into a little bit of ball speed. So you see good sort of 2.5 mile an hour, pretty much in terms of that ball speed gain, just through that 1 mile an hour club head speed. So not a huge amount jump. It's a nice little cherry on the top of the cake in a way, isn't it? Just get that little bit of speed. Obviously dispersion's equally as important. It's no good getting that little bit of speed, but then it's all over the place. You've got to sort of weigh into all these little sort of windows. So launch angle there, 12 and 13. So obviously just got that little low one in there, which again, that's that low in the face strike. Spin's a little bit low there, which I don't mind. It's not too low, so 2, 3, 6, 8. Obviously there's a few lower ones there, maybe when I get that slight high and maybe touch toe side. But as an average, that's a good sort of area. And to be fair, the Ping was a good area. Again, the slight low heel ones will just spin up a little bit more. So that's probably the way it's just split the differences through those strike. Distance-wise, 5 yards. And it's not a lot, to be honest, and it's not something that would really swing it for me. But I think, you know, looking at the different departments there in terms of the look, I much prefer the sound. I much prefer the numbers are just slightly better there, but it's straighter, isn't it? So there's a bit of a difference there. So as I say, I'm weighing up all those different sort of windows there with the looks, the feel, my emotions with the driver, but at the same time, that little sort of niggle in my mind, I want something new, I want something shinier. You know, at the end of the day, when a new iPhone comes out, I'll be the first one to buy it. I just like new gear. So there's that part of me in there. And I think some of you guys and viewers will relate to that, and many will the opposite. You know, they're not that bothered for the new and latest equipment, which is absolutely fine. You know, and proving it there, you know, G400, it's a few generations old now, but still performs really, really good. It's all individual, isn't it? And you've got to test it in this sort of environment, you know, measure it, compare it. And I'm going to do a little bit more testing. I'm not sort of going to decide at this point, but I'm going to definitely do some more testing. But TSi3 is a very strong contender for me. It's just ticking more boxes for me personally. Okay, I'd love to hear your thoughts as always, so do comment down below. Do you think I should go TSi3 or do you think I should stick with G400? Love to hear your thoughts as always. Appreciate your feedback. Hopefully, we'll catch up with you all very soon.